Yo, what's going on, beautiful people? Welcome back to the channel. Listen, you know how this review thing works. If you enjoyed the video, smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and also turn those notifications on. Now, if you're ready, I'm ready. My Hero Academia Chapter 134 review. Let's go! So the chapter kicks us off by once again having us follow Kirishima as he takes on this Blade villain in the back of this dark alley. Now, last week when the chapter ended, we got a look at a new hardening mode, which Young Kirishima-kun himself called Extreme Hardening. We learned this week that not only does he have extreme hardening, but the skin itself actually grates. It's crazy, it looks like a bunch of gears grinding, and it's nuts. Now, even though this new form is powerful, like anything worth having, it comes with a few drawbacks. The first one being that he has to concentrate very heavily, and the second one being that unfortunately, he can only maintain the form for 30 to 40 seconds. One thing I love about this chapter is that it seems like Kirishima finally found his own way. There were a few chapters back where he was a little down because his power wasn't as flashy as some of the other ones, but now he realizes that it doesn't matter if his power is flashy or not. What his power does have is brute force, and that's what he needs to get past this villain. Relying on nothing but good looks and sheer power, Young Kirishima unleashes his new attack, Red Gauntlet, and sends this villain flying into a wall. Now, despite the fact that Young Kirishima is finally coming into his own, he still has a lot to learn. Now, not only does this dude prematurely celebrate his victory, but then he starts to sympathize with the villain. He lets his guard down and the villain's giving him this sob story. And Young Kirishima's like, yeah man, you know, I can't let you go. I understand how you feel though. And unfortunately, the villain takes advantage of that and releases blades out of his back to kind of get away. Even though the villain gets away, luckily for Kirishima, Fat Gum shows up and the stupid ass villain flies right into him, thus getting himself trapped in a pound of fat. As Fat Gum starts to trap the villain, he reminds Kirishima that most villains have certain conditions for victory, usually being kill, escape, beat up, or etc. What I love about this part is that in some ways it's a teaching moment for Kirishima. Yeah, he did a good job of taking down the villain and taking care of business and protecting the people in the alley, but at the same time, it tells us that he still has a lot to learn, you know, and that's why these internships are so valuable, especially when it comes to experience, just kind of learning how villains operate and learning how to conduct yourself. Now, even though Young Kirishima dropped the ball at the end, he still for the most part did a pretty good job, and proof of that is that he gets thanked by the people who he actually saved. They come up to him and say, hey man, thanks for saving me, but they also tell him that he did an amazing job. And it's at this point that Fat Gum actually seems like he's kind of proud of Kirishima and tells him that that was one hell of a debut. Now, even though things worked out for Kirishima, you still got to remember that Sun Eater lost his abilities, and now, you know, we got to see what's going to become of this. This isn't something that's small. Obviously, the villains have some kind of weapon that's going to be a serious issue for the heroes. We got to see what they're going to do about it. So after the job well done, we catch Kirishima and he's back at school, and at this point, you know, all of his friends are running up to him and they're saying, yo, your name was on the news, man, killing it, son. But not only was Kirishima kind of getting some shine, we also find out that Suyu and Noraraka were in the news as well. So, you know, these internships are actually paying off for these guys. Not only are they getting more exposure as heroes, but they're also getting valuable experience, you know, and they're getting acknowledgement of their friends. And for Kirishima, you know, that's kind of what he wanted, especially considering the fact that his quirk really doesn't stand out that much, despite being pretty awesome. So it's nice to see him kind of get some love from not only the media, but his friends as well. With Kirishima's time in the sun seemingly over, focus switches back to the main group. It's at this point that we see all the kids with internships head to meetings with their respective heroes. It doesn't take long to tell that something's up as they quickly realize that they're all heading in the same direction. It's at this point that they finally reach the meeting place, and you know what? They run into all of their heroes. Seems like all the heroes that they've been interning with are gathered, but not only those heroes, you also got Aizawa Sensei, Gran Torino, and a bunch of other heroes as well. Now, I'm not patting myself on the back, but this meeting is something I definitely called out in my last review. I figured that they had to meet together and talk about everything that was going on, especially considering the fact that there's a quirk stealing bullet. But not only that, you also have to factor into the equation that almost every chapter that we got in regards to an internship has something to do with the 8 precepts of death. So naturally, it always going to tie itself together. Now, the cool thing about this meeting is that you learn that everybody's been pretty much looking into the same thing, you know. The 8 precepts of death are getting to a point where they can't be ignored anymore. On top of that, they're actually starting to team up with the League of Villains, so you know shit's about to get progressively worse. Now, with all this going on, it makes sense as to why Gran Torino wouldn't take on Deku when Deku asked him about maybe interning with him. Turns out that, you know, not only was Gran Torino looking into all this stuff, but a bunch of other heroes as well. And the craziest part about it is that Sir Night-Eye was pretty much leading the way. So, I mean, it's more beneficial to Deku to roll with Sir Night-Eye than anybody else because, you know, Sir Night-Eye is actually going to be at the heart of it. So I thought that was pretty dope. In terms of where the story is going, I got a feeling that things are about to get absolutely nuts. I mean, they got to figure out how to get past this quirk stealing bullet. But not only that, you know, we got to find out if the effects of this bullet are long lasting or short term or what. Because at this point, even though he's at the meeting, I'm not even sure Tamaki still has its abilities, you know. He just brushed it off as, oh, my quirk doesn't work right now. But it hasn't revealed as to whether or not he actually loses the quirk for good or what. So I'm definitely interested to see where that goes, and I'm definitely interested to see how all of these heroes work together. Obviously, to be honest with you, I'm loving these internships. I'm loving how not only the kids are getting the ability to shine, but they're also kind of getting their name out there. I got a feeling we're about to get some kind of war type deal that's going on, but who knows? I don't know if they'll really do a war, so to speak, simply because of everything that just happened with All Might not that long ago. But also, speaking of All Might, you got to wonder what kind of role he has in this, you know. Obviously, he doesn't have any powers or anything, but he's been a hero for so long that, you know, he's got to have insight. He's got to have kind of an idea of what's going on. And he's kind of got that experience where he can tell people what to look out for. So I'm really want to see if he gets a role in everything that's going on, or if they're going to just kind of make him a side character for the time being. Other than that, guys, that's going to do it for the review. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If so, go ahead and smash that like button on your way out. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and also turn those notifications on, alright? Other than that, guys, that's going to do it. As always, I'm your boy. Heroes come back to do great, be great. I'll catch you guys in the next video, man. Peace!